The rain poured down in a relentless sheet, turning the streets of New Carthage into silver rivers that reflected the neon signs above. Logan Pierce ducked under the tattered awning of a closed noodle shop, clutching his jacket tighter around his shoulders. His boots squelched with every step, the thin waterproofing having given up hours ago. It had been a long day of cargo runs at the spaceport, hauling crates stamped with alien trade seals he couldn't read, and the last thing he expected tonight was to get involved in someone else's problems. But fate rarely asked permission. That's when he saw her. At first, he thought she was just another street sleeper, thin, hood pulled low, wrapped in some kind of shimmering cloak that seemed to ripple like oil in water. But as the light shifted, he caught the gleam of something else. Pale, silver-blue skin, and eyes that reflected the streetlight in an unsettling, almost feline way. She was clearly not human. And judging by the tremor in her hands, she was cold. She sat hunched against the shop's wall, knees drawn up, holding a small metallic cube to her chest. It pulsed faintly like a slow heartbeat. Logan hesitated, every instinct warning him not to get involved. Aliens in New Carthage could be anything: diplomats, traders, refugees, or trouble magnets. Still, she looked about 2 steps away from collapsing. "You're going to freeze out here," Logan said, crouching beside her. Her eyes snapped up to him, startlingly bright, the color of deep ocean water, and she recoiled like a cornered animal. "Go," she hissed, her voice laced with an odd musical resonance. "If they see you near me, you'll—" She cut herself off, looking past him toward the street as if expecting pursuit. Logan scanned the street. Just shadows, puddles, and the faint hum of traffic in the distance. "Look, I'm not asking for your life story," he said, shrugging off his jacket and holding it out to her. "Just take it. You're shivering hard enough to rattle your teeth." She didn't move at first. Then, cautiously, she reached out and took the jacket, pulling it around herself. Her fingers brushed his for a moment, cool to the touch, almost metallic, and her shoulders relaxed just a fraction. "Thank you," she said softly. "No problem," he replied, standing. "There's a diner 2 blocks over. I can buy you something warm to eat." Her eyes widened slightly at the offer, as if no one had ever suggested such a thing to her before. She clutched the cube tighter but nodded. The diner was half empty, the smell of frying grease and brewed coffee wrapping around them like a blanket. Logan ordered her a bowl of steaming synth noodle soup and watched as she devoured it with quiet intensity, as though every bite was both nourishment and relief. When she finally slowed, he asked, "So, what's your name?" She hesitated. "Saria." "Nice to meet you, Saria. I'm Logan." Her gaze flickered to the window, scanning the street again. "You shouldn't have stopped for me." "Why? Are you dangerous?" he asked, half joking. "No, but the people after me are." She leaned forward slightly, lowering her voice. "I carry something they want. If they find me, they will kill me. If they find you with me, they will kill you too." Logan sighed. "Great. And here I thought I was just doing a good deed." "You were," she said firmly. "And it is a debt my people never forget." By the time they left the diner, the rain had slowed to a mist. Logan offered to walk her somewhere safe, but she refused, saying she couldn't risk being tracked to anyone else's door. He watched her disappear into the shadows, thinking that was the last he'd ever see of her. He was wrong. 3 nights later, Logan woke in his apartment to a faint humming noise. He flicked on the light and nearly fell out of bed. Saria was standing in the corner, her cloak dripping rainwater onto the floor. "They found me," she said simply. "I have nowhere left to run." Before he could respond, there was a pounding at his door. A deep, mechanical voice barked. Open in the name of the Consortium Enforcement Division. Saria's eyes went wide. If they take me, they will take this, she said, holding up the cube. And if they have it, no world in this sector will be safe. Logan didn't have time to think. He grabbed her arm and pulled her toward the back window. Come on. They fled into the night, weaving through back alleys until they reached the old cargo yards near the docks. The cube's faint pulse seemed to grow faster, like it sensed the danger. Only when they ducked into the shadow of a rusting freighter did Logan finally ask, "What's in that thing?" Saria looked at him with a strange mix of sorrow and urgency. "A seed." He blinked. "Like a plant seed." "Not of a plant," she said. "Of a star." Logan stared at her. "You're telling me that box can make a star?" "Yes. My people are star forgers. We can birth suns where none existed before. This seed was meant for a dying colony world, but the Consortium wants it for war." Logan let out a low whistle. "And here I thought I was just helping someone out of the rain." "You did," she said quietly. "And now you are part of something far greater." They didn't make it far before the Enforcement Division caught up. A squad of armored figures emerged from the fog, weapons raised. Logan instinctively stepped in front of Saria. The lead enforcer's voice boomed. "Human, step aside. The fugitive carries stolen technology." "She's not a thief," Logan shot back. "You just want to use that thing for yourselves. You have no understanding of what you are protecting," the enforcer said coldly. "And your life means nothing to us." Saria's hand gripped Logan's shoulder. "I can stop them. But you must trust me." Logan didn't hesitate. "Do it." The cube flared suddenly, bathing the yard in blinding light. The enforcers staggered, their visors flickering. The air filled with a deep, resonant hum, and Logan felt the ground vibrate under his feet. Above them the clouds parted. No burned away, as a beam of light shot skyward. Logan's breath caught as he saw it. A newborn star, impossibly close, its golden light spilling across the horizon. The enforcers fell to their knees, their armor hissing and sparking. Saria turned to Logan, her expression fierce and resolute. "The seed is planted. This system will never again be in shadow." "What happens now?" he asked. She smiled faintly. "Now I go home. And you? You are remembered." Logan expected her to vanish again. Instead, she stepped closer, her cool fingers brushing his cheek. "One act of kindness brought life to a sunless world. That is a legacy greater than war." And then she was gone, disappearing into the light of the rising star. Weeks later, news reports spoke of a small, forgotten colony suddenly bathed in warmth and light, its crops thriving, its people celebrating. No one knew exactly how it happened, but Logan did. And though he never saw Saria again, he sometimes caught himself looking up at the night sky, spotting that new star, and smiling, because he knew that a single unthinking moment of compassion had changed the fate of worlds.